Hey, what's going on, guys? Coach Aero here, back with another Rocket League video on Game Gym Online. At the start of the spring 2023 season, we did a video titled Basic 3v3 Positions, in which we learned about the three roles that exist in threes. In that video, we didn't really talk about specifics, just what the role of each position is. Today, however, we will be talking about all the tools and strategies that you can incorporate into your game to become a dominant first man. This video's warm-up will be in two parts again. We are going to start off with 5 minutes of free play, and following that, we will be doing 5 minutes of a training pack of your choice. If you want to use the one that you see me using in the footage, the code is going to flash on the screen now. Before we go any further, it's important for us to define exactly what first man is. If you guys watched my previous video on 3v3 positions, this should be a refresher, but we want to have this information fresh on our minds anyway for success, so we're going to revisit it. The first man position is played by whoever is closest to the ball, plain and simple. Naturally, because of this, first man will pretty much always be the one to rush towards the ball. To keep it simple, think about positions like this. First man is closest, so they would adopt the most aggressive play style to challenge the ball quickly. You might ask why. Well, and this is something that you hear me reiterate a lot. In Rocket League, we want to limit the amount of space the opponent has with the ball, because the more space you give an opponent, the more opportunities they will have to score. We don't want shots coming on our net even if we are saving them, because most likely our resources like boost will be depleted by the other team as the pressure ramps up, making it harder and harder to save shots. Keep this in mind throughout the video, as this concept is one that first man should always remember. Alright guys, now we're going to take a look at an example from one of my replays of me playing first man, and we're going to walk through my thought process of how I identified this quickly, and we're going to talk about how to examine where your teammates are positioned. That's the biggest thing. So we can see right here that I go for the ball or whatever. I'm first man. I'm rotating back. I don't see my third teammate, and that's key here, because typically I'll tell you guys to rotate back and rotate straight to third man, but Rocket League's a fast game and we can't do that every time, right guys? So right here, I come and pick up the mid boost, and I still don't see my teammate, which is my third right here. So I can assume that this is my ball to go for. And if we go to fly cam, you can actually see that, you know, this lines up correctly. Like, he's all the way back here at like back post. So the fact that I went for this is perfect. And you can see that since he's not in my field of vision, I know that he has to be behind me, right? So I know that this is my ball. So we identify that quickly, and then we cut off space, and we were able to keep possession in our half, or I mean in their half, excuse me. Alright guys, now what we're going to do is take a look at an example from one of my games of me playing second man and making the decision to play second man instead of first man, so we can see what the difference is and we can cut down on some double commits and confusions in our games. So you guys can see right here from my player view, I get the beat, I pick up the fresh boost, my teammate goes out of my field of view right here, and the ball kind of shoots across the left, and I almost want to go for this, but right here, I should actually be playing second man, because if you're paying attention to your teammates, like we've been talking about, you can see Doo-Doo Fart go over to the left, over there to the left side of the field, right? I pick up the boost, and the trajectory of this ball is actually going towards the left, and you can see me do a little camera flick right here, and we can see that he's just going to have more momentum, and he's going to have a better, like, straight shot at this ball. If I go, then I might have to end up, you know, kind of cutting across the field like I'm doing right now, and that's never good. So I end up making the decision right here to leave the ball for my teammate, and that's a good illustration for you guys on how to cut down double commits and make sure that you're paying attention to where your teammates are. Like I said previously, we always want to make decisions with the knowledge of our teammates' positions in mind. Specifically when applied to first man, this will mean full challenging the ball or not. You might ask, but Aero, you said first man needs to be aggressive and cut off space fast. Why would we ever wait to challenge? What we need to remember is that cutting off space doesn't always mean literally going for the ball, right? If my opponent is dribbling and I drive towards him as first man but don't jump, this will most of the time cause the ball handler to flick the ball over you, which is actually good for our team. What we've done is limit the space he can work with, and we force them to give the ball away to our team. Here in this replay, we're going to take a quick look at an example of me full committing for a challenge as first man, and we're going to talk about why I did so. So you can see right here in this play that my teammate will bang the ball upfield, and you can see that I see both of my teammates ahead of me, But the funny thing is here I'm actually first man in spite of that, because I'm pretty much the only one that can get a good challenge on this ball, right? And the reason that I end up deciding to challenge is because the player right here, the blue player, takes it to the wall, and it's a very predictable and slow path. And you guys can notice that as I'm driving up the wall, I don't jump till the last second, till I know for a fact that I can get a piece of this. Because if I jump and don't end up getting a piece, it's just overcommitting like we talked about. So you want to stay principled and stay on the ground, and only challenge when you know you're going to get the challenge. Now we're going to take a look at an example of me deciding not to commit, and I think this is a really good example, guys, because it's very similar to the last one, but there's a few key differences that make me decide to make a different decision. And what we can see here is the ball in this play shoots to the right wall, and it's going very fast. And you guys can see that the way this plays out is I end up not jumping, so I can, quickly get back, and look at that, boom, we're already back, right? That's the idea. Now, the reason I didn't end up going is 1, right here I notice I have no boost. 2, I know D-Rock is full rushing this ball, and right about here, I see him pick up that back boost, so I know he's gonna beat me. So this is a good illustration of always paying attention to the opponents. If I wasn't paying attention to D-Rock right here, I wouldn't see that he got this boost, right? And I wouldn't see that he's rushing this ball. So I would just go and overcommit myself. But since I paid attention and examined the field, I knew exactly the play to make. End up don't jumping. The other team has a quick offensive attack, but I'm on defense, ready to help my team. And that's the whole idea, guys. The big thing I'm trying to teach all of you in this video is how to quickly identify when you are first man, and from there, how to quickly figure out whether you should challenge aggressively or just occupy the opponent's space and not challenge. Keep in mind that we want to quickly identify when we are first man because, and here I'm saying it again, we want to cut off space as first man as quickly as possible. Otherwise, the opponent will be able to utilize their space and gain an advantage in the play. This information is crucial as overcommitting as first man will render you out of the play for a short period of time, giving the other team the possible advantage of a 3v2 situation since you would be slow to rotate back to defense. What I want all of you to do now is play a ranked 3v3 game and save the replay. Following that, you are going to go into the replay and find an example of you playing first man and second man to reiterate that you can tell the difference. You should go through the same thought process that I demonstrated earlier in the video when reviewing some of my replays with all of you. Get in there and good luck. Whenever we were playing first man, there should be 2 things that are seared into our brain. We should immediately look for our teammates and then examine the defensive players' positions. You guys should be able to do this with a quick glance, as one of the most important skills in Rocket League is gathering information quickly, which will allow you to make better, faster decisions. In this context, we use the information of our teammates to decide if we are first man and if we should challenge aggressively or not. And part of that comes from analyzing the opposing attackers as well. That's going to do it for this video, everyone. I'm Coach Aero with Game Gym Online, and thanks for watching.